Dear Lord. Okay. This is what a visitor sees when they arrive at the website, right? They're immediately hit by a client request, which is okay to do, but like iOS, you're supposed to have some sort of like warning where you have UI that is like prepping them to accept the privileges. So it's just very, very fishy looking. I'm gonna hit okay. Most people would hit cancel there. And then this now? Come on. I'm already leaving. Okay. Next thing, you could just fix that. I'm sure it's like a plugin or something that's doing that. It's probably a setting. And then everything else I'm going to say from here on out is you could do it right here. So yeah, you go to customize, and then you hit the customize button, and then you go to additional CSS. And this is what I did for Olivia, where you could just write custom CSS rules. And if you need help with those, I got you. But I'm basically just going to go over the changes. First thing, the logo is probably too big at this viewport. Let me open it up. So I guess we'll do laptop first. The main thing is like this logo, this viewport is too big. Maybe the font size could go down a bit, because there's this rule where if you have uppercase font, you can do smaller font size. So I bet you could go down to like 14 pixels on those. Okay, near me, I feel like this is a H1. Yeah, it's an H1. So H1s are viewed by Google as the most important thing on the entire website. So having the word near me in the H1 is you're not getting any keywords, you're not describing what the business is about, etc. I would immediately change that to a description of what the website is, because I'm guessing you find fishing spots near you, but it's not super specific. I wish it explained in like 8 words, 8 keywords, preferably. Font's fine, maybe add a period at the end to make it seem more impactful. We'll go over this first. I think that's fine, but since everything else on the website is boxed off, like all this stuff, that either make these boxed off or make these rounded. Like you gotta go with one, especially because these inputs are rounded. Search for is kind of vague. I don't really know what to search for. Maybe fix this placeholder text by putting an example or like a rotating example. There's WordPress plugins for that. It seems that this is like text that's already there, and it says user defined, which is weird and kind of suspicious. Like if I chose to give you my location twice, and it says user defined, that would be pretty sus. I would also increase the height of these inputs. These aren't very inviting inputs, especially with how we're on the largest breakpoint. And if someone had a bigger monitor than this, it would be even worse. So I guess like increase the spacing, increase the font size just a hair, increase the input height. Those are all really easy CSS. You just select, you just inspect it, copy the selector. I'm not going to do this for everyone. Increase font height. That's just an example of how you find a selector. Yeah, you can usually cut off most of it because it doesn't need to be hyper specific, but you know, so cut off like there. Open brackets, height, you know, 4 rem. No, that's probably not it, 2 rem. And then padding, top, 0.25 rem. And then same for padding bottom, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, the rest I'm just going to talk about the changes. These icons, they're fine if they were all unique. Makes it feel like EcoTours is the most important one. I don't really know. I would go with like an icon set, like icon set dev. You can pretty easily put in your own icons on WordPress. Sublime wants me to pay for it. Search button is fine. If you click this near me, see what I'm saying? That's fine. So yeah, for these I would try to make them all 1 or 2 words so they're uniform. Increase the space each one has for sure, because this picture is not that important. I would make them like bam, bam, you know what I mean? Like taking up the full viewport on desktop. And you can use Elementor to make a card that would do that. This parallax thing is alright, but on mobile it doesn't look good. So I'll go, basically, if you're on a touch screen, the scrolling action isn't this smooth. You're using your finger. So unless this is disabled on mobile, which like, okay, I just got roasted. It's disabled on mobile. So then I go down. Sorry, Discord is crazy. Okay. This is fun. I really don't know what this is showing. Oh, okay. It's like all the things that are there. This kind of seems like overkill. I feel like since, I don't know if this is going to be like this forever, but since, you know, most things are here, let's say it doesn't leave Florida, I would just make your own map with a plugin, or just make a, like have a graphic designer do a vector that you could zoom in on. It'd be super easy to work with, load instantly, be way better for mobile. As far as how it looks, I probably don't have control over this, but the one thing is this scrolling. Because the problem is, let's say they don't click this, because a lot of people don't, and they're scrolling down. Their mouse gets caught, so then they have to like that's not good. Maybe you have like a button before it starts being scrollable, like a lock or something. These are fine. I feel actually, yeah, I feel like those are the same height as the ones up there. Yeah, they're 38. So I would say bump those up to like 50 pixels, and then make these like 40 something. Mess around with it. See, this is weird. Oh, one more thing. Do it if I type in, like, that's good. Yeah, that's a good job for the plugin. See, this one might maybe add autocomplete there if possible. Yeah, that's probably not a quick win. Oh, definitely rounding these. Maybe giving them some padding. Because like this what's holding this box and this picture box and this content has to be some bounding box, right? If I gave this like a background of white, and then I gave it a border. This is what CSS would be like. They have a CSS clear, so it's not gonna let me do local stuff. That's fine. So yeah, just adding an outline to this, and then giving it like a box shadow, or rounding the corners of it. And then if that's too much, just rounding the corners of the pictures and giving them a slight shadow, and maybe tinting them just a bit so you don't get ones like this, where it's really hard to read featured and heart. These are fine. I feel like this should be what's at the top, but just bigger. This is like the content. Even if not a lot of things are here right now, this is like everything at a click. Like a big version of this should maybe either be this, or at least the hero section, because no one's gonna know what to search for. Good on here, and round the corners and yada yada on this as well. The color is fine. I'll probably make these headers, everything here the same font size, or except view all, and then bold the stuff that's more important instead of making the font size bigger. Go down to the footer, dark mode on the inputs, weird, make them light. That's about it. This is all fine. These are good. News. I wish it was more recent news, but it's fine. Payment. I'll maybe put like grayscale versions of their logo right here to add some legitimacy to that. That's fine. Maybe smaller print, because it doesn't apply to everyone. Like light gray, smaller font size. Obviously 2020. Add like company, comma, LLC, comma, Inc. Don't really know why these are also here. Maybe that could be a fourth column. This is not the place for those. If anything, like social media links somewhere here. Add legitimacy. And hours, name, address, place. There's this big thing called NAP consistency. So really hurt your SEO. There's this name, address, and phone number, also hours. Some people say NAF. Basically, you have a Google business profile and your website that have the exact, and Facebook that have the same name, address, phone number, and hours. So fix that. Go here. That text is illegible. That's a huge problem. Make that either a light blue, or honestly white would look better for the rest of these. It's really easy. Just select it. These inputs are fine. I would space out, put a margin on the top of this button so it has equal space as these inputs have to this. And I don't like the padding on this box, especially on the bottom. It looks pretty off. This hover state is a little weird, but like it works. Let's see if we tab. So if I reload a brand new user, hit tab. Where is it? I guess it's here. Yeah, tab order is fine. Does this work? Yeah. Oh, it's accessible. That's a good one, at least. So I'm assuming the rest is accessible because it was right on the top. I'm not gonna go and click everything because we're just talking about the homepage. Okay. This needs to be fixed. That spacing. This font size needs to be fixed. The difference in these is way too much. Sign in should be full length. So that's fine. Change this icon. That should not be that. Should maybe even be in here. if you hit my account, logo's way too big for a mobile viewport. Like, look at this. That is at least a sixth of the display. It's taken up by the logo there. It's pretty bold logo. You can make it smaller. And then see these icons, they don't work because they're getting squished. So that's why you benefit from SVG icons. And also they should be different. And yeah, same problems exist here. I don't know why it said near me on desktop and now it says inshore offshore. You can't have different content between mobile and desktop. That's like really bad. So change that. I mean, this is all fine. It's the same opinion I had on it for desktop. The spacing's off, obviously. Decrease the spacing. It's probably padding on the bottom of this. When you're on mobile, spacing. See, this is where it starts to get weird. That's why I said take these out, because it's like, when you're on a phone, look at that. That's such a awful way to, if someone scrolls all the way to the bottom of your website, it's like, damn, they're really interested in you. And it makes it sure you're like, I paid attention to everything. And this kind of just reeks like not that. You have this should definitely be smaller font. Once again, this 2020. And then social media links here, if anything. These links need to go up here. So yeah, that's my review of the homepage. Hope that was useful.